the sound of breathing and the biting of the grass. And then it was just the most incredible view, you know, it was so cozy and warm. And one time she moved off. She walked off and I fell. It really hurt my shoulder, it was pretty gnarly. So after that, she knew that if she walked, she would hurt me. So she would just eat herself in a circle. And then when she was done, she would turn around, she would bite my knee. And I'd pop up for a second. She'd move about 20 feet. I'd pass back out. She would eat in a circle again. And it was just this amazing bond I had with this animal who knew if she walked, she would hurt me. So she would just turn around and say, hey, little bastard, wake up. It was just an amazing, amazing memory.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
You said you were half naked. Was it bottom down?
Usually it was just boxers.
Okay,
Really warm.
Just wanted to mention, I had a different picture in my head, that's all.
Which now in hindsight, walking through a field in the dark with no shoes on or boots in the summer in Louisiana when there's snakes and shit everywhere, is probably not the best idea, but I was like 12, I didn't care.
That's, you know, that reminds me of something unrelated. Can I just bring up another story? I was working for Disney Channel in Australia and I went up to like Land, which is where...
But there's television in Australia?
We also have toasters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, you're fine. So I went up to do this interview with like the local Aboriginal people, and one day we were just doing the story, and there were these little Aboriginal kids. They would have been like 8 years old, swimming in this lake. But in the morning when we shot, there was a crocodile in there, like a huge crocodile, which would have been like the size of, oh, they don't have crocodiles, from like here to maybe like here. I was like, it's so big. And we saw them in the afternoon. We were like, guys, there's a crocodile in this water. And these little Aboriginal kids were like, nah, brother, he's just over there. We're swimming here, but he's just over there. And I was like, you're swimming in the same lake as a crocodile. Crazy. Sounds like your story.
Just like it. Exactly.
Millies.
I just remember having, you know, the childlike wonder, you know, where you're just like, 100% of you is innocent and pure and everything is just pure magic. And I'm the oldest of 4 kids, so my best memories were just hanging out with my siblings outside and just playing make-believe, playing games, all of that.
Aww.
You know, it's interesting, I don't know, like listening to your stories, like I feel like maybe like because of that experience that you had with the horse, and that could have been a huge factor as to why you have so much love and you have this huge foundation that helps so many animals, and then like you in your car and praying over God and being such a spiritual person, and you with your dad, you know what I mean? Trevino, so it's like, he's not paying attention, he's probably putting gum underneath his chair, whatever. And you still kind of have that childlike wonder. So it's like, I'm kind of thinking to myself, was there one thing that happened to me as a kid that was a really good memory that maybe in some way impacted, shaped me, right? So I used to live, I'm from Europe, technically, I guess. I was born in Geneva, not too far from here. And my dad and my mom and I, we had a place in London, and it was like this tiny townhouse, very, very narrow. And my dad had this old school record player, right? And my dad was a producer. He worked for Quincy Jones and a bunch of people for a long time. He was a pretty okay producer back in LA. They'd moved back to London, and he would play me his records, and they were kind of like super old school. It was like, he was still in the disco kind of period, he never got out of it. And he would play me his records that he'd produce, and they'd be on vinyl, and we would dance around the house, and literally, that's it. That was my memory, but I feel like that
Maybe that was your musical...
Yeah, and maybe that's, and then to just get back to that, whatever that made me feel like dancing with my father when like everything was perfect, and when life was perfect, and my parents were together. You know, I think that it'll be that one memory that I think makes you who you eventually become. So it's interesting hearing all of that and then having to kind of find my own. So, was that okay? Are you happy?
That was really good.
Thanks for sharing.